Hey guys, it's Melissa from Leclair Decor. I am here to talk to you about painting tips and tricks. So many people are getting into painting their homes as they're spending so much time there, and the questions are a-buzzing. How do I paint? What do I pick? Where do I go? Who do I talk to? I am here to help you out with all of those questions. Here is Painting 101. Where do I start? So the first thing you want to do is pick your paint color. The second thing is the finish, and the third thing is the grade level of paint, and that really relies on your budget. How much do you want to spend on a gallon of paint? There's so many different finishes and they all have their different application purposes. The basics are eggshell for the walls, satin for the trim, and flat for the ceiling. Those are our go-tos. There are exceptions to this rule. So when we're doing a dark paint color, we like to use a matte finish. This adds greater depth because there's less light reflection. There is a small note here though, it does mark up easier. The higher grade, like eggshell has a little bit more of a sheen, satin has a little bit more of a sheen. As you add that sheen, you get more wipeability and washability out of that paint, but matte finish for dark colors is beautiful. Another exception is texture. So if you live in an older home and it has plaster, sometimes people want to use a matte finish because they just don't want to see that texture. That's another reason for that application, but again, it does mark up a little easier. I typically, again, just put eggshell in my bathrooms. We have proper ventilation in there, and that should be suitable for most applications. If you live in an older home or you feel like your bathroom just doesn't have great ventilation, you may want to up the sheen level on your walls. It will give you more washability and wipeability, and you won't see those streaks on your walls if you've got a lot of humidity buildup in your bathroom. Entryways and kitchens, high traffic areas. Again, eggshell should be suitable for these applications. If you're worried, you can up the sheen level. If you do that, because of the higher sheen level, you will see more of the dings and nicks in your walls. That light reflection will come in there. So I typically like an eggshell because it still gives you that wipeability, but you've got a semi-matte finish. So that's my advice there. How do you paint your cabinets? There's a few different ways you can do this, but if you want to actually do it properly, you're going to want to take the doors off, properly sand them down, clean them. You will want to prime them. We've used a product before called Cabinet Coat. You can brush in the corners and roll with a foam roller over the center and back of the cabinet, and that will give you that soft satin finish. Painting your front door, and if it gets direct sunlight. So sun is a killer for outside. It will bake anything. But if you use a proper exterior paint, you should get longevity out of that color. We have used a product called Aura. It's self-priming, so you don't need to prime beforehand. You can apply it right on top of your door. It lasts a long time, and we've been really happy with it. I would use a low luster or satin finish to give a little bit of a sheen. You can also go into high gloss if you want it to look quite glossy. That's a great product to use. If you've got fresh drywall, absolutely you need a primer. If you're patching, you're gonna wanna prime that before you paint it. If you're changing colors drastically, like we had to in our last house, there were red walls and we wanted them to be white or light gray, we did need to use a primer first. There are paint products now with primers built in. If you go that route, then you definitely don't need a primer. Walls that are already painted, you may not need a primer. If you're not jumping colors drastically, you don't need one. So there's a few things you need. You need a roller. You need a roller sleeve. You're gonna wanna use a 10mm roller sleeve. 10mm is what you're gonna need for a typical wall rolling application. Another thing you need is a paintbrush, and these come in a variety of price points. You can, I think, get them at the dollar store and all the way up to like a $20 paintbrush. I like investing in that mid-range. Make sure you clean it properly afterwards, let it fully dry out, and it should last you a long time. You're gonna need a roller tray and painter's tape. I can't stress enough, it is a pain in the butt to put up, but it is very helpful. I know so many people out there want to just do a little bit of paint because you don't want to paint your whole wall. I'm not going to lie to you, sometimes you might need to just paint a fresh coat over your whole wall, especially if you've got a lot of dings. It might be worth just that extra time of investment. If you don't want to do that and you just want to touch up, make sure you're using the same application that was originally applied. So if you were rolling previously on that wall, which is typically what you're going to do in the middle of the wall, you're going to want to roll it on again. If you use a paintbrush, it's going to be different streaks, so you will notice it more. Typically, the answer is yes. We often do white ceilings. The only time we haven't is in a moody boardroom. We actually did a black ceiling, black walls, black trim, everything, and that looked pretty amazing. But you're going for a very specific look in that scenario. So typically the answer is yes, you do want a white ceiling. First up, I would say watch our 5 favorite paint videos, which we just filmed, and that will give you a good indicator that tells you what our favorite white is and some of our favorite off-whites. We are completely okay with your entire house being white. A resource you can do is just look for inspiration photos. Oftentimes they'll tell you what the paint color that was used in those photos. You check on the website, you should be able to see a fairly accurate depiction of what that color is. We often do one main color that runs through the house, especially in open concept homes. That typically you want it to be the same color, white or off-white or whatever color direction you want to go, but bedrooms, bathrooms, absolutely do them different colors. If you're doing a white wall, like us when we do Chantilly lace, we do the trim the same color. Or if we're going for a really dark and moody look, we will paint the trim out the same color. Other times you will want it to contrast. And if you're going into an off-white, you want it to be a white trim so that you see that difference there. I hope you guys found this helpful. This was Painting 101. Leave your comments below. Let me know if you have any other questions and we will try to get to them. And don't forget to like the video, also subscribe, and we will see you soon.